Welcome to Watches with Dennis. I realized that it was 1 year ago that I purchased my first high-accuracy quartz watch, one of Citizen's The Citizen line, the AQ4100-65W, so I thought it would be a good time to provide a new updated review. Unlike my first review, that spent a lot of time focusing on watch specifications and features, this time I want to talk more about my experience long-term, my likes and dislikes that revolve around this watch. One of my big likes is accuracy. I synced the watch against my computer when I got it. The movement is advertised as plus or minus 5 seconds per year. Looking today, I see that I'm 3 seconds faster than what my computer currently says, which syncs to an online service. So the watch being within spec in and of itself isn't a win, it's an expectation. But the thing is, the accuracy of this watch is dependent on not entering the energy save mode. But mine repeatedly has been because it's been in the dark in a watch box. So despite all of that, the accuracy level has actually remained quite compelling and within specification. And this is a watch I've never had to set other than the first time. It's the only watch of mine that is like that. Even my radio syncing G-Shock has required me to manually trigger the sync to deal with things like daylight savings time. Another thing that I really like is the lightness of this watch. This is to be expected from a titanium watch, and this is in fact my second titanium watch. So I knew what I was getting into when I ordered it. But there are just a lot of days where I'm really glad that I have something on that I barely notice. Coupled with that is the Duratect coating. It has held up really, really well with the watch. My first titanium watch, which was an Oris, scratched up quite quickly, but this has held up its look quite well. The only real notable wear spot is the clasp system, which is on the inside where no one but me would notice it anyway. But speaking of the clasp, that's a dislike I do want to go into and highlight. The bracelet and clasp system on this watch are okay. I like this system better than my experience was with Grand Seiko, but it's still not top tier in terms of comfort. I find myself fiddling with this clasp a lot during the day, and I often temporarily remove the watch, I'd say once or twice a day, because of how it sits on my wrist. Likewise, it's actually sort of hard to put this watch on. To get the bracelet comfortably snug required me to adjust the sizing where I really have to squeeze my hand in an awkward shape to slip the watch on. No other bracelet watch I have requires this. It's not a huge deal, but it is a ding against the watch nonetheless. Another minor negative is setting the watch. Again, I already noted I only had to set it the first time, but making sure the perpetual calendar is ready to go is actually quite tedious because this watch doesn't have what most perpetuals do. It only has a date window. It's not showing anything else. The manual does a really good job explaining it, but it's still challenging to get it all figured out. And it's a really good thing that this watch is solar powered because if this was running down all of the time, I would not bother trying to keep the calendar in sync. But finally, I do want to end with a like, and in my opinion, it's the best one of all. And that, of course, has to be the dial. The dial work on this watch is stellar. It's a combination of the washi paper and the platinum flakes. It gives it a really cool snow style effect. Close-up photos of this watch dial almost always get praise, so if you're after that, it's a good one to go with. Say if I drop them on Watch Crunch, for example. The paper also lets in enough light for the watch to do its solar charge thing, so it looks a lot different than other solar-powered watches often do, where you can see the module that's trying to capture the light. I've never had any issues with this watch exhibiting signs that it hasn't been getting enough charge, so however they've got it set up, it seems to do a really good job absorbing light. As such, this is my preferred grab-and-go watch, especially when it comes to going to work, because this watch style looks good in a suit or casually. Overall, I have been extremely pleased with my first foray into the Citizen line. I'm glad I picked this one up, and so far, at least it has successfully scratched that itch for a high-accuracy quartz watch, and I've not been interested in getting another one. I'm giving it bonus points, though, for being such a different dial than anything else I've ever had in my collection. This watch was actually my third most worn watch of 2024. We'll see how it does overall in 2025, but I can tell you currently, because I log it in a spreadsheet, it's resting at second place. Thank you for tuning in to this one-year review. I hope you found it entertaining. If you did so, please do give it a like. It helps the channel out. If you want to talk about the watch, leave a comment. I do go back and read those. And other than that, I just want to thank you all for taking the time to watch.